Okay, here we are, week 13B technically, with half the schedule already done, almost. Um, Vegas Horse Pool Circa Contest. Again, the Survivor had a bit of fun yesterday, a few sweats here and there. I guess there's still about 50 there right now. But what do we got in the million side of it, Scott?
Yeah, it looks like there's about 54, I believe, left. No one got knocked out over the Thanksgiving 13A, which is amazing based on the first couple weeks of this contest. That you could say that about any week. So I got to admit, I was very surprised. First of all, before we get started, how was your turkey?
Yeah, we actually had turkey. We had oven problems for about the last week. Managed to work it out Wednesday. Got a turkey Thursday. So yes, did the traditional Thanksgiving with the kids and wife, and yeah, it was a good day.
That sounds really good. Well, it's been a crazy week for the proxy service, as you can probably imagine, because traditionally I put them in on Friday night. But this week I've been putting them in on Wednesday. I've been putting them on Thursday. I've been putting them in on Friday. It's been a little bit of chaos. So we've got a little bit of a different schedule to look at this week, a lot shorter schedule, because there's no point looking at the past. There's no point looking at the Kansas City or the Detroit game because they're flat out over. So it was a great. It's been a great, crazy couple of days of college football. As we're recording this, Alabama looks like they're going to take care of Auburn with that big game tonight. Texas A&M. Are you ready for that game?
For sure. And funny enough, I was actually at a bar earlier watching the Michigan Ohio State game in Michigan. So that was you saw all sides of the Michiganians in that game, from the pick literally on the 1 yard line to
Yep.
then the stop and then coming back. I mean, it's those are the kind of things I enjoy. If you could just sort of leapfrog into different places and time zones for like home field games and that all
Yep.
across not just the US but across the world. That's kind of the fun of what we do. Is another aspect of it is just being in amongst that group of people and knowing that they're not rooting for the dollars and cents like we may be. They're rooting for what
Right.
they've grown up with for 20, 30, 40 years kinds of things. So a bit like you in Nebraska,
Yep.
it's just fun to watch for me.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's the exact reason why I have a hard time betting a Nebraska game. My heart's already fully in it. I don't need more skin in the game, if you will. I say let's go ahead and pull up the magical list and let's see what we got this week. Here we got Spank Odds up here, and Spank Odds has been incredibly crazy this week. Talked to Spanky earlier in the week, and he decided to run our first ever Black Friday sale. So it has been insane with customer service. But I've got a couple of games here highlighted. One of these games did not make the list for the top picks on the proxy service, but I know you wanted to talk about it, so I already added it there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the lines that we don't want to talk about, so we got it down here to just the four games. If you want to start in order, this is one of the top picks this week was in this Indianapolis game. Did you have any inside information on this game?
So this one was interesting. A lot of volume on this game. Oddly enough, 66% of the money is on New England. 66% of the tickets is on the Colts. Uh, those ticket numbers are kind of fluctuated because of the parlays, because they're favorite. You get some people just falling into those things. But showing that New England right now has 66% of the money. It's one of the picks. Obviously, the line moved a little bit towards the Colts, the 2.5 on Circa, and it's 2.5, I guess, minus 16, 15. Penny still flat there. Some three dog money there. So right now, it looks like we'll need the Colts, like many of the millions punters. But again, still a long way to go before kickoff.
Yes, there is. No, no inside track if this is going to be your play of the week, right?
No, that won't be. It was on the
That won't be it.
borderline, but no, it didn't end up falling on that one.
Okay. All right, our next game to talk about, Texas, the Houston Texans versus the Jaguars. This game, the line has moved a little bit. How about the inside information from Prime? What do you got here?
So this is a low betting game so far. What I did notice that the pros heavy on the dog there. It opened 6, went to 4.5 pretty quickly, went to 4, bit of 3.5 popped up, and then back at 4 right now. If it lands 4, it's not a good result. Houston by 4 is pretty much loses all the money because most of it's at the 4.5 and higher, and then the minus 3.5. But nothing real worrisome right now except that single number. But that's kind of part of the game of why the house has the VIG. You can lay on and off the numbers, and ideally it's still meant to be in your favor. But nothing either way on that game right now. Just don't land Houston by 4.
I see. One thing I've noticed this week with the being the Turkey week, has the volume on the NFL been significantly lower this week than normal? Because I'm not seeing the line movements I usually see during the week.
Yeah, so for tomorrow, it's there's a few really good games that have been bet. Seahawks Jets has significant money. Eagles Ravens has a good amount. Bills 49ers. Detroit Chicago was huge numbers to start the day once the money started rolling in. Those single games, and then they just sort of go from one game to the next. And you see a lot more live action in those single games as well, as they're plotted out that way. And then, I think I was on the Bostonian versus the book, and they kind of leaned in me to make a pick, and Green Bay and under was what I'd ended up selecting. Green Bay the 3 just looked too light, even 3.5. And it ended up hitting 47. So, those lucky enough to find the 47.5 got the favorite and under parlay there. But just being up in Michigan, we had a proper fall of snow this morning. And I knew, with that weather coming in, that it was going to be cold Thursday night up there in Wisconsin. And again, it was, Miami going to the cold just doesn't fit that way.
It certainly doesn't. Well, let's go to the game I really like here for the proxy service this week is that Tampa Bay game versus the Panthers. What's the inside information here on the Panthers game?
So again, this is another top down. It was 5.5 on Circa. It's currently 6. The money's fairly well balanced. There's been decent volume. The sharp money is on Tampa Bay, mostly at the 5.5 before it got to the 6. And significant on the money line. I was looking through those as well, as I always do, and there's significant money on the money line for the Bucks as well. So it seems like the players are really liking them this week.
Okay. Well, let's go to the one you wanted me to add. This is not in the proxy top 5 list or top 3 list this week, but it's a very interesting game here. The Cardinals versus the Vikings. Why did you ask me to add this one?
So currently, this is our play of the week. Now, gotcha. I'm very hesitant. This is why I kind of like this one, because I'm very hesitant on it. I don't like laying 3.5, no matter who it is, where it is. Funny enough, did it on Thursday with Green Bay. You can get 3 minus 20. I think 3 minus 18 was available as well. But right now, as I look at the charts, this is the game that's a standout. It's close to 80% of the money on Arizona. The one thing that I usually like to see is public money versus pro money. The public and the pro are both on the same side here. So the house is really going to need this Minnesota by more than 3. So right now, as I said, I don't like laying 3 in a hook. If you can find the 3 minus 3 at a decent price, that's where I'd be laying it. And then I'd sort of be rolling a bit at the 3.5 as well. But right now, from all the charts that I'm looking at, this is the standout game for us right now. As we always say, this can change within the next, 18 hours or 16 hours or whatever it is to the kickoff of these first games. But that's it. Right now, we're looking at Minnesota. I was going to throw in a second one just to, again, make it more complicated for ourselves and try and get 2 home when we don't need it. But the other one was the Saints against the Rams. Significant money on the Rams. This is where the pros are a little bit more on the Saints than they are on the Rams. almost as much of a lean as it is on the Minnesota game. So I was almost looking at an anti-West Coast, although Arizona's not quite there, double. And we've spend a bit on the Saints as well. That's going to be another game we need. But Minnesota's the number one play right now, and maybe hook it up for some fun with the Saints. Looks like, again, one early game, one late game like we did with that anti-Ohio one a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to build a parlay here. So I like that a lot. I always like it when you would give us inside information. Looks like something might be moving there too. All right, looks like we got a good plan here. Like I said, we got this Texas A&M game coming up here shortly. I think it's coming up in about 4:30 Pacific time. That's going to be an amazing game, I believe. Like I said, it's been a whale of a game this week. And you want to give us some insight on that Texas?
Let me have a quick look at the chart and see what we've got there. Very, very well balanced book. Looking at it, decent amount of money on the Texas money line that sort of skews it a little bit, needing A&M. But right now on the spread and the total, very, very balanced, considering how it looks. So no standouts there for us right now. No cheers.
Okay. Well, it sounds like just for chaos' sake, gotta have to cheer for A&M here, because it's been one crazy, crazy week for the playoffs. And that Nebraska game, I don't know if I'll ever forget that game. I still can't believe Nebraska ended up losing that, except for the fact they had 3 turnovers, which was incredible, and gave the ball to Iowa on the 2-yard line, and Iowa still couldn't score a touchdown. So I don't even know what happened in that football game. Everything tells me Nebraska should have won it, but they didn't. Lost by 3, just like they did the year before. So, how about this? Do you have any other matchups or anything else that you want to talk about?
No, nothing right now. As normal, it's still a decent amount of time before tomorrow's games. It's been a crazy week. College basketball, college football. Tomorrow's day 3 of 4 in 5 days of NFL. The volume's been across the board huge, and it's just getting through what we need to get through. But Michigan today was a really, really good result, especially winning straight up. Unfortunately, caught a couple of Ohio players there, so it seems like we're a little bit back on track on trying to get the deficit of Ohio for Prime Sports back into the black. But just day by day, game by game, that's all we can do right now.
So the Ohio players that you got, was it because of the Michigan-Ohio State game?
Yeah, there was a few people that had played the Ohio State money line, and that ended up a good result. So Michigan winning outright today really helped Prime in Ohio. And again, it was mainly live betting, so it's nothing that we would have seen pre-game, but it fell right in the end.
That sounds really good. I'm glad you're doing so well, and I look forward to you having a book in the Pacific time zone, since I am looking for a job. So just thought I would let you know that. But I think
maybe we'll get to Mountain. Not sure about Pacific. But
Mountain doesn't help me. Mountain doesn't help me. I need you to Pacific. But I think that's about all we have this week. I really appreciate your time. And Nebraska's going bowling for the first time in 7 years. I can't believe I'm saying that finally. But even with the loss yesterday, they've got 6 wins. Sure was hoping they could get a much better bowl than they did, or they're going to get, but at least they're going. But I think that's all we got for this week. Adam, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, again, all the best to everyone punting tomorrow, betting for those Americans, and good luck. And hopefully the Vikings can get home by more than a field goal. And just to make it harder on ourselves, we're throwing in the Saints as well. So good luck to everyone.
All right, guys. I want to thank